things have just gotten pretty interesting.
Webull,
a huge US stock trading platform, has launched in the UK. This popped onto my radar a couple of weeks ago and I thought it would be really interesting to discuss. And just as I'm researching it, Webull reached out to me asking if I'd make a video discussing it and reviewing my thoughts on the platform. Not something I would normally agree to, but I said, well, I'll do it as long as I can be completely honest. So here are my brutally honest thoughts on the platform and whether I think it's worth you guys signing up for. Truthfully, I'm always quite sneakily happy when another provider enters the market, especially when it's a big one, because more competition means the existing providers have to offer us more as customers in terms of promotions, features on their platform, and generally improve the service that they offer. It forces them to up their standards, as there's more chances for us as customers to jump ship and not stick around. So I see it as a win for us as users. Webull's launch piqued my interest for a couple of reasons. The first is they are huge. With over 40 million downloads globally, they're already in the US, Singapore, Hong Kong and Japan, and they're now landing in the UK. I've watched them for years be partnered up with popular YouTubers like Graham Stephan.
Webull has a totally new promotion right now where if you sign up and
I've always secretly been quite jealous. Jealous because Webull is one of the providers with the best free share schemes out there. They are offering up to 8 free shares, which is pretty crazy. I'll show you more exactly how that works in more detail later, but first let's talk about the actual company and what they are offering. Webull has received recognition in the finance industry, winning Best Brokerage App at the Global FinTech Awards in 2022, and recognised as a best-in-class at the 2023 Annual Stock Brokers Review, which is pretty good to see. Webull has now just launched into the UK market under the name Webull Securities Limited, or Webull UK, after securing authorisation from the FCA, or Financial Conduct Authority, in October 2022. Anthony Dana, Webull's US CEO, who's responsible for operations in Europe, said, "Our first step into Europe follows successful launches in Singapore, Australia, Japan and Hong Kong. While each company has very different requirements and expectations, we believe there's great potential in the UK and we look forward to rapidly expanding our product range to cater for British clients. Our platform has become very popular in the US and we're sure it will prove equally attractive in the UK. In short, they seem pretty keen to enter the UK market and fight for a spot on the top shelf. Perhaps this is not great news for the likes of companies like Freetrade, who have recently had to increase their pricing structure. What's good about this is Webull has had time to get the pricing right in the US and use that as a guinea pig before launching here in the UK. So let's talk about their pricing, because at first it seems pretty confusing. It operates on this thing called basis points, which we aren't all that familiar with here in the UK. A basis point is essentially a 100th of a percentage. So for example, 1 basis point is 0.01%. So when you buy a stock, you'll pay 2.5 basis points in charges, or 0.025%, which is very low, almost zero. On a trade of £1,000, you would pay just 25p, or on £100, 2.5p. Now you get 90 days or roughly 3 months for free commission when you open your account as a bonus, but I think it's worth noting what it will be after that promotion does end. There's also an FX fee, or a currency conversion fee, when you convert pounds to dollars of 35 points, or 0.35%. The good thing with this though is you can keep your money in dollars once you sell a stock, so you'll only need to pay that when converting to or from dollars, which helps keep costs down by avoiding the conversion fee on every trade. There's a few nominal fees which you would typically find with buying or selling, charged by the SEC and the US Financial Regulatory Authority, and a custody fee, which are tiny, which you'll pay on any platform, but that's pretty much it. So once you get your head around what a basis point is, it's actually pretty simple. It's quite a common term on trading platforms, but I think for everyday investors, it could be simpler being in percentages to save them having to work it out. Now to me, the platform has 2 very big holes, so let's talk about those. The first is you've probably heard me mentioning dollars a lot. And while you can hold pounds on your account, there's currently no UK stocks or ETFs. I know. There are over 10,000 US stocks, which are incredibly cheap, but if you want UK stocks and ETFs, you'll have to wait, at least for now. The team are working on adding them soon. Likewise, the second big hole is there's no ISA, the tax-efficient investment account here in the UK. Again, the team are working on adding these, so hopefully we'll see those soon. Now this is a tricky one because it's a pattern I've seen and something that's happened a few times now. On the surface, you would think, why would you open in the UK without an ISA or UK stocks? Well, the answer is, having talked to a few of these companies behind the scenes now, it's timescale. details. It actually is quite a lengthy process to onboard UK stocks and ETFs as well as have an ISA. You have to have a lot set up behind the scenes as you have to jump through, which you can imagine does take time. The idea most of these platforms adopt is, well, let's open with US stocks, have a slower and more manageable onboarding of clients, and then we'll add these things later, because they would have a huge rush for people to sign up. Speaking to them, it's not a no, we're not doing it, it's US only, it's a they are coming, which is good to see. Now, I can already read your mind. If there's no ISA and no UK stocks, then what's the point in signing up? Exactly what I thought. Well, for US stocks, they're very good, so if that's of interest, this app may suit very well. But actually, the more clear reason to use Webull is it has some very unique features, which I think if they do add UK stocks and an ISA could put them a top contender for the new tax year. So you could essentially sign up, get 4 free stocks, have a look around and see what you think of the platform now before an ISA comes. You could also use their tools, which on other platforms just doesn't exist, to help you pick investments, learn more about investing in general, because I think the free tools they provide are kind of what you would expect to find on tools like Simply Wall Street or Seeking Alpha. So you can essentially get some very good features for free. Let me show you what I mean by that. First, you've got a feed, which is essentially an investor community on the app. You've got a newsletter with stock market news, a learn more section which has quite a lot of simple stock market lessons about the more advanced topics like inverse ETFs, which can be good to know. People will share a lot of trading ideas here. You can see which stocks are being most talked about, and the details of people's ideas are much more advanced. There's also popular groups you can join to discuss certain topics. There's a markets tab where you can see what's currently in the news which is trending. I can quickly get a market overview, see which stocks have earning reports coming up and any surprises in earnings. I can also easily see the top gainers and top losers, as well as this helpful analysis tab which has been done for me, which can provide some pretty interesting trading ideas. There's also this handy diagram which shows how people are feeling about particular stocks, negative to positive. But even more so than those, this is where it gets most useful, the watch lists. Here I can add stocks I'm interested in and monitor their performance. So for example, let's click into Apple. Here I can see pretty much everything I'll ever need to know about the stock. I can filter the chart by different periods of time, see the latest news about the company from top websites. I can head into feeds if I want to see what the sentiment is about the stock and what the communities are saying about it. I can go much more in depth in analysis, which shows me whether analysts think it's a buy or a sell, and its target price versus its current price. I can also see the quant rating, which is a score given to the stock based on 5 different metrics, such as value, growth, and quality. There's also your more regular indicators like PE ratio, earnings per share, and dividend yield. What Webull also has here is technical analysis, which I've not seen on other platforms. This is way more technical, but shows you some technical analysis based on short-term movement of the stock, which can be pretty interesting. There's also company details, which goes into more of the key indicators, their income statements, balance sheets, cash flows, and how they compare to their peers. And if you head back to the chart, you'll see some of the level 2 pricing information here, and even more information on the company like order flow distribution, large scale orders, short interest, the list goes on. There really is so much information for free, it's incredible. I'll definitely be using this app as a part of my stock research going forward and monitoring my stocks. The other thing that it does have, which is very good, is more advanced buying options. So when you go to buy, you're able to put in different kinds of orders. You can do limit orders, so it goes in at fixed price, market prices to buy it at the live price, but also things like stop limits, so you can buy it at certain prices. You can also set up stop losses, which will automatically sell them if it goes down in price. If you're looking to become even more advanced as a trader, there's also 2 very cool features. The first is paper trading, which I think is good for beginners as it gives you some demo money that you can use to practice buying and selling with. The second is advanced data, if that data wasn't advanced enough, like level 2. It's quite rare to get this on an app like this offering this level of data. I first stumbled across level 2 when I started trading after reading a book called The Naked Trader. Yeah, that was actually a book. And what level 2 is essentially live market data. When you trade, typically your prices will be delayed, sometimes by up to 15 minutes or more. This will give you direct access to the price at that second, or minute by minute pricing depending on which option you go for. If you want to trade more accurately, especially day trading, it's a must in my opinion. You'll get it for free when you sign up anyway, so have a look what you think of it. All of this data may seem quite overwhelming at first, especially to a new investor, but definitely nice to have. In particular, I like the sentiment feature, so if I'm looking to buy a stock, I'd like to see if there's a big glaring, strong sell indicator before I go ahead and buy it. And a lot of the tools are great learning tools if you want to learn some more about stocks and how they work, and generally just be more aware of what's going on in the market. The app is very well designed, and you can tell it's been going for some time, not just some beta version that's half complete. I think my cons for the platform are definitely the lack of an ISA and UK stocks for sure. I will add, depending on the time you watch this video, they may have already been added, but in my opinion those advanced tools do make up for it, at least in the meantime. The fact they offer these tools for free is pretty crazy, and when they do manage to get an ISA and UK stocks added, they'll definitely be a top contender for the best ISA, maybe in the next year. In the meantime, I think you can pretty much pick up 8 free stocks, try out some of the tools and data for free, and even trade some US shares. To get them, all you have to do is register and make a small deposit, any amount. Then complete one course in Webull Learn and you'll get 4 free shares, which is pretty quick. When you trade, you'll also get another 4 free shares, so each of the 8 is worth $2,000 up to $16,000. Let me know your thoughts on the platform. I think these advanced features inside an app are pretty damn cool, and if you have any questions, let me know. In the meantime, if you're wondering how much you should have invested for your age, check out this video right here to see how you stack up. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys over there.